Welcome to another one of our Friday community classes here on the YouTube. These classes come out every Friday morning, so if you haven't subscribed or hit the bell icon, you know what to do so you don't miss any of them. What are we talking about this week? Intention. I know that this word gets thrown around a lot. It's sort of talked about so much that it's lost its meaning. It's lost the importance. And when it comes to our plant spirit work, when it comes to reaching through into realms of otherness and connecting with non-human persons, intention is crucial. It is a tool by which we are able to get these sorcerous workings of the green art done. So I wanted to do what will probably be a relatively short class on intention because it's simple and very, very important. So what is intention? It is aligning the entirety of self to goal. And there can be some overlap in that definition with how we define magic and maybe even how we define medicine sometimes, which is very interesting. For me, in order for the intention to be clear, it has to be activated and held on every level of being. So intention does not just take place in the brain. It has to be something, of course, that we do think about, that we hash over, that we clarify, that we fine tune to make sure that whatever it is that we're trying to do, we're clear about it. Yeah. But intention should also be held in the heart. It should be something we feel. It should be driven by emotion, by desire, by want, right? If we don't have that emotional counterpart, intention tends to get locked into this very analytical, cerebral place where it just spins its tires, which isn't very helpful in our work. The plant spirit path is so much more about what we do than what we think. So there's an invitation to drop the power of intention into the fullness of being so that we're carrying it from everywhere, not just from upstairs. So the emotional drive, that desire to do or desire to manifest or desire to get to wherever it is we're trying to get in our work is very, very important. And it's actually the force that pushes the more mental aspect of intuition and intention. So very important. We also want to make sure that the intention is locked in the body, that we're holding it in our tissues, that we're feeling it, that we're moving it through the fullness of self. This can be that our physical actions reflect the intention, that we're doing things that back up the intention that we've created. That's where usually the disconnect is, right? But also that we can perceive in some way the intention being tissue-based, that when we sit with the thought of our intention, with the emotionality, the feelingness of our intention, there should also be a sense of it kind of moving throughout the entire body. And this is why I will often meditate or place my intention in the heart center and allow my heart to pump the intention to every single fiber of my being. So intention has to be clear, what it is we're trying to do, what we want to accomplish, and it has to be systemic. We don't want to lock it into just one of the three thinking places of being. And it also needs to be hopeful, because actually intention is very much a type of a prayer, a type of a petition, in that if there's no hope behind the intention, if our intention is to make contact with the green realm, make contact with a specific plant spirit that we want to work with, and there's no hope that it will happen, there's a lot of negativity, there's a lot of criticism or cynicism about whether that plant spirit will respond to us, or if they'll like us, or if we will be a good match, or if we'll be able to even do the sorcerous undertakings that we're trying to do, we are setting ourselves up for failure. And that's not good, right? So come into it hopeful. And what I have found actually is that by generating a hopefulness, a hunger to accomplish the thing that we are trying to accomplish, that sort of dovetails with the emotionality of the process, right? That's where we kind of get the feeling from of like, I really want to do this. I really want to take this next step. I really want to have this connection to this tree, or I really want to successfully do this ritual that I've been, kicking around. So we have to have some hope. We have to have some sense that everything will happen the way that we intend, that the resulting goal will manifest how we want, that the details of what's going to happen when we get there, we're open to them being whatever they may be. We don't try to define every single step of the process, but that intention to succeed, that intention to get there is very, very important. And we have to remain hopeful and have some positive mental atmosphere. The other really important aspect to intention, and this is the deeper mystery of this particular force, this particular virtue that comes out of the human person with intention, is it is like a wand or a stave that pierces the hedge. It pierces the veil that normally separates our world from the green realm, our world from the realm of the spirits, from the realm of the plant spirits, specifically in this work. That when we have crafted and cultivate a really good intention about what it is we're going to do, it sort of gives us an open path and some open gates all the way through the veil. When we don't have an intention, when we're kind of just blindly walking through things, or we're not really sure about what we want to do, or we don't have that emotional drive within us to actually accomplish the work, that we're not excited about the relationships, that we're not hungry to be invested and involved in the other world, when we're not curious, when we're not wanting more experience and more knowledge from the plant spirits themselves and from all that this work entails, it's very hard to have the momentum that it takes to push through that membrane, spiritual membrane that sort of keeps the worlds separated. So for me, intention is incredibly important for all the reasons that we talked about, but most importantly, that without it, we cannot propel ourselves through the hedge. We cannot make our workings become so big that all the worlds hear them, right? They tend to just get really insulated and really echoey when we're not, quite driven, quite focused on what it is we are trying to accomplish. So two very important things, that intention should be systemic, and that generally happens as a byproduct of working it out, really getting clear about what it is you want, what you're trying to do, what you want to accomplish, and that intention is the driving force that allows our work to move from our world into the fullness of worlds, from the human experience into the plant experience. And so when crafting an intention, try not to overthink it. It's very, very easy to overthink this type of stuff and really get up in your head about it. So don't do that. Intentions should be exactly as the name implies. They should be what you intend to do, what you hope to have happen, what you are hungry for. And in our particular work, oftentimes the intention is simply to make contact, to enter into relationship with, to explore an aspect of otherness, to explore an aspect of self, to craft a particular kind of medicine, or to build a particular kind of herbal charm, to enact a specific ritual or cast a divination. It's very simple. There's not a lot of grandiose intention making in the way that we hear about intent and will in ceremonial magic that gets very complicated, very, very step oriented and lots of nuance and lots of pomp and circumstance. This is very organic. It's very simple, but it has to be there. And a lot of times when I see folks struggle getting through, sort of furthering their work, it's that the intention just is not clear yet. It's not quite to the level of focus that it needs to be. And so the way that we can work on that is to start writing things down, get visceral, engage your head, your heart, and your hands. That's body, mind, spirit, all of it coming together. Again, a systemic setting of intention, and kind of do pros and cons lists, mind maps, whatever works for you to really figure out what is it that you want? Why are you showing up to do this work? Where's the hunger? Where's the need? Where's the desire for transformation? And really explore that to get in touch with who you are as a person and where your motivations lie, for starters, but also to just shine and polish that intention until you're like, okay, this particular statement that I've come up with, or this conclusion that I've come to, is hitting the root of things, right? This is at the root of what I am trying to do. So follow your heart and craft your intentions in a way that feel good to you and that feel like they carry the kind of force that you can ride across the hedge, that can propel you into worlds of otherness, so that you can create these relationships with the plant spirits and do whatever work it is that you're intending to do. One thing that I will leave you with is that in my particular tradition of herbalism, of plant medicine, intent is the way that we call forth the virtues of the herbs to lend themselves to the medicine. So if you think about any herb that you could look up in an herb book, and you're going to find 10, 15, 20 virtues that herb brings to the table, things that herb is excellent at, areas of focus, areas of influence that spirit has in the body when we take that herb as medicine. When we take an herb without having a good intention, the power is spread out over the full personhood of the plant. We get like little bits of all the things that herb is good at, right? When the intention is clear, when there's one particular virtue about that herb that we're calling forth, maybe they've got some antiviral properties, and that's really what we need. We don't necessarily need the diaphoretic, carminative, none of that stuff. We just need the antiviral effect, and where that antiviral effect is placed in the body, we end up taking all the power that's spread out for the fullness of that plant spirit and putting 100% of it into that one virtue. So instead of getting 5% power here over 20 things, we get 100% power on one thing. And this is the way that we use intent for the herbalist, the herb-wise person, and the herb themselves to meet halfway and to agree on what we are asking that plant to help us with when they are introduced into or around the body of the person we are working with. So intent forms a huge foundational part of all of this work, from good spiritual herbalism, superior herbalism, all the way to magic, to ritual, to self-exploration, to our relationships with the plants and the green realm. So consider how you create intentions and how you really shine them up and make them, powerful and pointed, because it's very important in the work. And also explore ways that you can effectively work on your intentions. What methods will work well for you? There's a lot of information out there about how to craft intention. I don't want to duplicate any of it here because it's already been done well by other people. But for the most part, people can just explore how they're already doing it and find ways to do it better. And that's what it's all about. So let me know how you work with your intention. How do you craft intention? How does intention play a part in your work with the plant spirits? Drop something in the comments below. Let me know what you think. And until next week, take care.